ye, hear ye. Hear ye, the Treaty of Watertown will now be read by John Horrigan.
A treaty of alliance and friendship, entered into and concluded by and between the governors of the state of Massachusetts Bay and the delegates of the St. John's and Micmac tribes of Indians. Whereas the United States of America in General Congress assembled have in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies solemnly published and declared that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is, and ought to be, dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. We, the governors of the state of Massachusetts Bay, do by virtue hereof, and by the powers vested in us, enter into and conclude the following treaty of friendship and alliance, viz. First, we, the governors of the said state of Massachusetts Bay, in behalf of said states and the other United States of America on the one part, and Ambrose Farr, Newell Wallace, and Francis, delegates of the St. John's tribe, John Denacora, Charles, Matthew Entrain, Nicholas, John Battis, Peter Andre, and Sabatus Netopcobwit, delegates of the Micmac tribes of Indians inhabiting within the province of Nova Scotia for themselves, and in behalf of the said tribes on the other part, do solemnly agree that the people of the said state of Massachusetts Bay and of the other United States of America and of the said tribes of Indians shall henceforth be at peace with each other and be considered as friends and brothers, united and allied together for their mutual defense, safety, and happiness. Second, that each party to this treaty shall and will consider the enemies of the other as enemies to themselves, and do hereby solemnly promise and engage to, and with each other, that when called upon for that purpose, they shall and will, to the utmost of their abilities, aid and assist each other against their public enemies, and particularly that the people of the said tribes of Indians shall and will afford and give to the people of the said state of Massachusetts Bay and the people of the other United States of America during their present war with the King of Britain all the aid and assistance within their power, and that they, the people of said tribes of Indians, shall not and will not, directly or indirectly, give any aid or assistance to the troops or subjects of the said King of Great Britain, or others adhering to him, or hold any correspondence, or carry on any commerce with them during the present war. Third, that if any robbery or outrage happens to be committed by any of the subjects of said state of Massachusetts Bay, or of any other of the United States of America, upon any of the people of said tribes, the said state shall, upon proper application being made, cause satisfaction and restitution speedily to be made to the part injured. Fourth, that if any robbery or outrage happens to be committed by any of the said tribes of Indians upon any of the subjects of said state or of any of the United States of America, the tribe to which the offender or offenders shall belong, shall, upon proper application being made, cause satisfaction and restitution speedily to be made to the party injured. Fifth, that in the case any misunderstanding, quarrel, injury shall happen between the said state of Massachusetts Bay, or of any other of the United States of America and the said tribes of Indians, or either of them, no private revenge shall be taken, but a peaceable application shall be made for redress. Sixth, that the said tribes of Indians shall and will furnish and supply 600 strong men out of the said tribes, or as many as may be, who shall without delay proceed from their several homes up to the town of Boston within this state, and from thence shall march to join the army of the United States of America, now at New York, under the immediate command of His Excellency, General Washington, there to take his orders. 7, that each of the Indians who shall by their respective tribes be appointed to join the army of the United States of America shall bring with him a good gun, and shall be allowed $1 for the use of it, and in case the gun shall be lost in the service, shall be paid the value of it. And the pay of each man shall begin from the time they sail from Machias for Boston, and they shall be supplied with provisions and a vessel or vessels for their passage up to Boston. Each private man shall receive the like pay as is given to our own private men. The Indians shall be formed into companies when they arrive at Boston, and shall engage or enlist for so long a time as General Washington shall want them, not exceeding the term of 3 years, unless General Washington and they shall agree for a longer time. And as Joseph Denacquara, Peter Andre, and Sabatus Ned of Coblet have manfully and generously offered to enter immediately into the war, they shall be sent as soon as may be to General Washington to join the army, and shall be considered as entering into our pay at the time of arrival at New York. 8, the delegates above named, who may return to their homes, do promise and engage to use their utmost influence with the Passamaquoddy and other neighboring tribes of Indians to persuade them to furnish and supply for the said service as many strong men of their respective tribes as possible, and that they come along with those of the tribes of St. John's and Micmac. And the said governor of the said state of Massachusetts Bay do hereby engage to give to such of the Passamaquoddy or other neighboring Indians who shall enter into the service for the United States of America the same pay and encouragement in every particular as is above agreed to be given to the St. John's or Micmac Indians, and to consider them as our friends and brothers. 9, that the said state of Massachusetts Bay shall and will furnish their truckmaster at Machias as soon as may be with proper articles for the purpose of supplying the Indians of said tribes with the necessities and conveniences of life. 10th, and the said delegates do hereby annul and make void all former treaties by them or by others in behalf of their respective tribes made with any other power, state, or person so far forth as the same shall be repugnant to any of the articles contained in the treaty. In faith and testimony whereof we, the said governors of the said state of Massachusetts Bay, have signed these presents, and caused the seal of said state to be hereunto affixed, and the said Ambrose Farr, Newell Wallace, and Francis, delegates of the St. John's tribe, Joseph Denacquara, Charles, Matthew Entre, Nicholas, John Battis, Peter Andre, and Sabatus Ned of Coblet, delegates of the Micmac tribes of Indians, have hereunto put their marks and seals in the council chamber at Watertown in the state aforesaid, the 19th day July, in the year of our Lord, 1776.